Hi, I'm TJ Carpenter with Sports Radio 810 WHB. I'm here with Steven St. John, the bearded duo out here at training camp, trying to get things done, watching camp. Been very impressed with some of the rookies so far. Travis Kelce high-stepping into the end zone just now. I've been impressed with Travis Kelce overall. I think he's going to be a great target for these quarterbacks.
Yeah, Kelce looks like he's really going to have an impact on this team. We had Matt Williamson, NFL scout for ESPN.com, who's a regular guest on the Border Patrol, on to talk about Kelce, and he said that he feels like his talent warranted a late first-round pick. There were some issues off the field that saw him drop, but the Chiefs may have gotten a steal here, and his older brother, Jason Kelce, played for the Eagles for Andy Reid, so Reid knew him well, knew the family well, and felt very comfortable spending a third-round pick on him, so it looks like that's going to be maybe the most valued pick for the Chiefs in this last draft.
One of the biggest things that's come out of training camp so far is the battle between the offensive line and the defensive line. Now, a couple of days ago, they had a blitz period. Looks like the defense clearly won that one. Since then, we've seen the offensive line show up. Quarterbacks have time in the pocket. Do you think that has more to do with the fact that they aren't blitzing, or maybe the offense is now stepping their game up?
Well, I think that listening to Doug Peterson, the offensive coordinator, speak the other day, they were kind of getting their butts kicked in practice, and so I think there was perhaps a talking to from the coaches to the offensive personnel, say, hey, we got to do something. We've gotten hit in the mouth a couple of times now, and we need to punch back. So you did see the offense fight back, but you're going to see they going back and forth. Defense is going to have some good days, offense is going to have some good days, but for the most part, I feel like the most impressive guy I've seen in camp, and I feel bad for the interior offensive line, is Dontari Poe, because he's been unblockable. He's been dominant in camp. So there comes a time when these young offensive linemen get sick of getting their butts whipped, and they fight back, and I think that's what they did.
Yesterday, I had a chance to catch up with Tyson Jackson. You caught up with Dontari Poe earlier this week as well. Two things they've got in common are the fact that they're working a lot harder in the offseason and they're eating right. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never really had a problem with eating right. I'm kind of one of those guys, but they say that it helped quite a bit. It's been one of those things where they're eating better, and now they're more explosive football players. So it's a really good sign to see that they're taking more care of that.
Yeah, I did an interview with Poe at the beginning of the week and asked him about Memphis barbecue versus Kansas City barbecue, and he had a sad look on his face. And he said, I gave up barbecue. And that kind of blew up in the media, and then the Star wrote an article about it, and then other websites picked it up. It's a big deal that this guy that loves barbecue, comes from Memphis, lives in Kansas City, gave up barbecue, and has been eating chicken, fish, and all the right stuff, and he's lost 15 or 20 pounds. Doesn't sound like a lot, but for Dontari Poe, it's allowed him to have that better motor and to be able to get out here and take those added reps, because they're looking at him as an anchor on the defensive line, and he understands that he needs to treat his body right in order to get the best performance out of himself on the field.
I think he's one of those guys that say he's down to 340. Right. he was gaining some weight, which clearly he's taken a lot of care of that in the offseason. One final thing before we get out of here. Look at these fans, man. Wow. I had asked somebody earlier, estimation 6,000. 3,800 was the record first day of actual training camp when they opened it up to the fans. I asked somebody earlier, 6,000 people. That's, just destroying the previous record now.
Well, they've done a great job here. They've got the kids area with all the inflatables over here. They're doing the Missouri Western football team is doing a free football clinic after Chiefs practice. All the Chiefs players are going to sign autographs, food trucks, very fan-friendly. And today's Family Fun Day, so a lot of people had planned their trip to St. Joe around this. And 6,000 out there, and you got a bunch of people over here in this area, so I think this is going to be a great, great turnout when we look back at the numbers, and I just think they've done it right. And hey, look, I'm partial. I lived here for 2 years and went to Mo West. I think Missouri Western State University does a fantastic job as a host of this training camp, and I really hope it stays in St. Joe.
Oh, there's a full camp here. I'm sure there'll be a full Arrowhead Stadium to start the season. Lots of excitement around the Chiefs right now, as you can hear in the background. For Steven St. John, TJ Carpenter, out at Chiefs Training Camp for Sports Radio 810 WHB.